You can send in a super chat, and you can ask any questions you like about me, Anthony, all of us growing up around Skip. You can go and you can do that. The other thing that you can do is you can call up and you can say a little something about a father figure in your life that you lost who helped you become the person you are today. And then you can also call in, and this one is a very important one. You can also call in to tell me the best damn joke you have ever heard. I even set up on the Discord a joke line. Call in with the best damn joke you have. I would appreciate it. But I would also like to hear about you and the father figures of your life. That doesn't mean fathers, by the way, biological fathers. It means people who filled the void, people who stepped up, who were complementary in many ways and were undeniable influences in a positive way in your life. So that's what you can do. And I always like talking about childhood and my life and sharing that with you guys because, as I know from many years of doing this show, sharing things like that brings up things in you guys at home that I can't even fathom and I can never predict. And I like that exchange. I like that. That's what we're doing. But this is real life. This is real life right here, ladies and gentlemen, and today's one of those days that I almost wanted to delete every tweet on my account out of embarrassment for caring about the headlines even a little bit. And I think, because I was reading some, I was like, oh boy, jeez, Frank, you're angry. Jeez, oh, look at this one. Boy, you are jeez, you're salty. And I think I seem so salty in some of these tweets because I was using Twitter. And it's not just Twitter, of course. There's the show, there's good days, bad days, and the show actually helps me regulate my emotions because it's a good venting. And I understand what I come off as, that you're in front of many people you'll never even know are watching you, that even so many years beyond the taping of this show, somebody who was probably an infant when it was first aired might come across it and listen to me and have a whole experience. You know, are you listening to me right now from the year 2080? If you're listening to me right now from the year 2080, please email the show, quitefranklypodcast@gmail.com. I have to keep these things in my mind all the time so that even when the worst of me wants to just thrash and say the worst things possible, because off air, I oftentimes, don't hold back. But I understand who's watching, and I understand that there's a need for moderation, which is another reason why there's so many things I don't put on the internet, because I say, you know what, I'm going to wait until I get on the air tonight. Because when I'm on air and when I'm in front of a microphone and I know I'm live in front of thousands of people, more every day, thank God, I am going to force myself to find the best possible way to say it. Even though sometimes you're talking about topics where there's really no easy way to say what needs to be said. But this was real life today, and that's the kind of thing it made me do, is it made me feel so petty about everything else. And I always wish that there were ways to hold on to this kind of perspective. Not so much in why I'm having it today. I got the same kind of perspective on my wedding day, on the opposite side of the joy spectrum. I had that kind of perspective there where, oh man, this is real life. This is what matters. I want to hold on to this. I want to turn this into broadcasts, and I want to take this out of people. And I want to, I want to invoke this kind of feeling inside of people. It's hard to hold on to that because there are lots of people, lots of organizations. There are lots of plots out there, as we've discussed many times over the years, that are out to take that from you and to aim it for them. And, I'm looking at all these tweets, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to delete this one, delete that one. I might just trash the whole damn account. Who the hell knows? And I think I started realizing myself, I was using Twitter a little bit as a punching bag. Everything is and then I realized everybody's probably doing the same thing to a degree. People who have it all together and are at complete state of peace with everything around them are not thrashing about on a microblogging platform trying to understand why other people are fucking nuts. As if you can ever change that. That's as ridiculous as these democratic socialists trying to change the human condition for the better. Or not for the better, for their worldview, which they think is good, but is really just an earthly iteration of hell. But it's still, like I said, it was a surprise today. Skip was delirious yesterday. He's been like that a little bit over the last week and a half. I haven't had a really good conversation with him in about a week and a half. Neither has Anthony, because he's just been so overcome with pain, and I really do believe that he was now chemically addicted to the painkillers. At the same time, the doctors hear him wailing. What are they going to do? Not give him relief, but then again, that was a plan. Now, how do we start weaning him off of that intravenously? Start giving him more stuff orally and get him better nutrition with this new tube that they put. It was a Frankensteinish event. It's a Frankensteinish event. And if it weren't for him telling me in a more sober state, I want to fight. And even then, he said he wanted to fight for us. He said, I didn't want to let you down. If it wasn't for him telling me that, I would have never signed on to any of this. Because, when someone is in state of pain, agony, and they're calling out to God and calling out to anybody that has something that can numb them, I understand why they're calling out for death. I understand. But you can't take somebody's word. You can't. That's not a clear mind. So I had to stay loyal to the clear-minded Skip. And as long as there was any non-surgical option that could be done, then we were going to stick with that. And today, I think he just didn't want it anymore, and he just went away. He just left. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about him. You can call in and tell me some jokes, and maybe I'll even jump into Babylon Bee a little bit. Here is a picture of all of us going to the Alamo Draft House in Yonkers in 2000, I think, what was it, 2015, to see The Force Awakens. Everybody was very excited. There's Skip on the, hold on, is that, we go, hold on. There's Skip on the left. He was excited. In fact, a couple of people, Matt in the center doesn't look very excited. Matt looks like he's ready to check out altogether. I don't know why he's so stoic. But we all had a good time that night. That was one. Here's another one. This was a very special day. This is that wedding day I told you all about. All of us, me and all the groomsmen, getting around and making Skip the center of attention for a couple of minutes. And he loved it. Boy, did he love it. That's Koss and Anthony and Mike and Matt and me and Gypsy and Mike May, the little guy on the right. That's really how tall he is, Mike May. And there you have it. I have a little bit more for you. For example, here's one of our trips to Disney World in 2002. 2002. Here's me and Skip trying to take the sword out of the stone. There you go. Good job, guys. Good job. Skip looks like he's slacking a little bit, doesn't he? I'm really trying to put something into it. Just finding a reason to flex. Here we are in 2004. He's got the same hat. I started wondering, what the hell is this hat? Is this like a vacation hat? There's a vacation hat in 2002, and then in 2004, there's the vacation hat again. At least it doesn't have the same Mets shirt on. And of course, there's my mom and Skip with the fanny packs galore on vacation. But I must say, you can tell in 2004, I'm eating to gain weight. You can tell I'm eating to gain weight because, see, the definition in my arms is not nearly as good as 2 years before. I should have stuck with what... First of all, I wish I would go back and I would say, Frank, okay, listen, here's what we're going to do to balance out your work. I'm going to teach you how to do a pull-up. I'm going to teach you how to do a few other things. We're going to balance this out. And you are going to lean into your metabolism and don't worry about being whoever. However many bodybuilders I was following at the time. It was never going to happen, Frank. It was never going to happen. You don't have the frame for it, and you don't have the money, and you don't like needles. It would never happen. So that's what I would do. I would go to 2004, and I would say, hey, you still have a 2002 metabolism in there somewhere, Frank. Stop with the creatine. Just stop. And start intermittent fasting and learn how to do some pull-ups, you dummy. All the time wasted, right? Okay, so here we go. Oh, we got a first question in. It is from Kappa Papa. Alrighty, the first one here. Kappa says, I guess the first thing I will ask you is how he came into your life, how Skip came into your life. Well, I think it was 1995. I think he started working at my mom's company in 1995, and we were going to, and you know, he's wherever we go. I was talking to the two nurses, that were preparing him to be moved down to the second floor at the hospital yesterday. Me and Anthony, we got to the hospital just in time to see them preparing him to be moved, and you know, we go over there, Skip, because he's delirious. He's calling out for a guy named Ralph. I don't know who that is. But, you know, I move my mask down. I said, Skip. And we're getting in his face just so he sees his face. I take out a picture of Aurora. I'm letting him, and then he gets quiet. And he just stares at Aurora. So he knows something. He knows. But he's in such a state. And so while they're preparing him to get moved, and there's these two nice... The nurses are there working on him. Then a third lady nurse comes in and is working on you know, some tubes and all that stuff and preparing him. And while they're doing that, I threw a little jab at Skip. I had to, because the Yankees just beat the Mets 2 nights in a row, and he's a big Mets fan. And I said, Skip, the Mets lost last night. And they lost the night before too. They lost 2 in a row to the Yankees. And, you know, the nurses liked that a little bit, and he was kind of just drifting off. And I told him, I said, you know, I know you guys are only really know what you're dealing with in one bed or another, but this man right here in Yankee Stadium in enemy territory in the 1990s is the only guy I know that can go into an enemy ballpark, sit in any section, and come out with friends no matter where he went. No matter where he went. I said, I know it you wouldn't know, and how would you? But anyway, around 95, he started working with my mom, and he's just became a hit wherever he went. I guess that's the reason why I was telling you. He became a hit wherever he went, and they just became friends with my mom and all of her friends really quick. And one day we were going to a company softball game that he was playing in, and my mom told me, you know, she said, hey, listen, he always gets that he looks like two people. He looks like either Emmitt Smith of the Dallas Cowboys, which he loved hearing because we're all Cowboy fans, or he usually gets from people that he looks like Carl Winslow from Family Matters. And so my mom gave me this little bit of information and said, you know, just tell him he looks like one or the other. He'd get a kick out of that. So my first conversation with Skip, it was from the bleachers on some dusty softball field in Stamford, Connecticut. I'm on the bleachers and he comes off the field or whatever, and I guess it's his, you know, they get off the field and they're getting ready to bat, so he comes walking over to, you know, be the, you know, the big wisecracking, just having a good time kind of a guy that he is. And that was the first conversation I had. I said, hey, you know who you look like, Skip? He goes, who? And I said, you kind of look like Emmitt Smith. And he goes, yeah, that's my boy talking to me. You know, like that's what I want to hear. And then, of course, as he basked in that a little bit, I let the excitement die down a little bit. I said, you also kind of look like Carl Winslow from Family Matters. And he just walked away kicking rocks. He just walked away kicking rocks at that point. And he soon became a father figure when I really didn't have one in my life. You know, there was a time there when my grandfather was getting sicker and sicker. He died in 2003, and then, you know, that was already during a time when we were pretty estranged from my father after he came out, and really didn't know how to deal with that, especially after so much in childhood. And then, you know, it's a lot to bear, especially in formative years. It really is. So, but then that's how we met, at least. I guess that's how he came to be. And he used to, I mean, we were all over the place. I mean, in the late 90s, my parents divorced, like 99, they divorced. But it was already done by 97, 98, I guess. And then my father came out in 2001, and during those years, we were going everywhere with Skip. Everywhere. We went to baseball games. We went to baseball series, especially when my brother's favorite team, the Seattle Mariners, came into town, because my brother loved Ken Griffey Jr. In fact, I got a picture for you right here. I went and I'll grab this one. I think this is from 99, or this is from 2000. There's Anthony. There's Ant and Skip. And look at that guy photobombing in the background. The blonde guy. He actually looks like a nice guy, actually. Look at him. Wait a second. There he is. Look at that guy. That blonde guy in the background. He's just saying hello. I wonder what he's doing these days. I wonder how he is. He seems like a nice guy. But this was it. Whenever we went to Yankee Stadium, it didn't matter who the Yankees were playing, Skip was wearing the hat of the opposite team. And, of course, he loved backing up Anthony. And that was spring and summer. So we did those, Cooperstown, Myrtle Beach, Florida, even the hometown buffet, like a hometown buffet in Milford, Connecticut. My buddy Steve, I told Steve that we lost Skip today. And I grew up with Steve. I know him since I was 5 years old. And we went on so many vacations together. And when we were even home, we would do everything with Skip too. Go up to the buffets, go out to laser tag, one thing or another. We were just doing it all. Skip taught us how to play blackjack, taught us how to deal blackjack. And Steve said, I know that this is a crappy memory, but I will always love and cherish that memory of going up to the hometown buffet with Skip, and we gorged on so much stuff. This buffets were very new to us. Obviously, Skip enjoyed the good things in life, sometimes a little bit too much. He was a big man. But so we would go to buffets, and it was just amazing. This one day, my buddy Steve, who himself is a little husky, had 9 plates of macaroni and cheese. That is just whatever the hell else he was picking on 9 plates of macaroni and cheese. We were probably in high school, freshman, sophomore, something like that. So afterwards, just me and the boys, me, Anthony, my buddy Mike that you know over here, Mike, Skip, we went to Hometown Buffet, and afterwards, Skip, we stopped by a gas station to get gas, and he said, you guys want a beer? He said, I'll give you 1 each. And of course, we're like, yeah, absolutely. So we got 1 beer each. And halfway home, Steve starts moaning in the back seat. He goes, oh, I don't feel good. We're like, what the hell? What's going on? All of a sudden, boom, starts puking all over the place. On the inside of the Mike pulls himself up between the passenger and the driver's seat. He goes, Skip, you got to pull over. You got to pull over. It smells like Doritos back there. So we had to pull over to another rest stop, and it took us like 40 minutes to clean the interior of the car out. We weren't drunk. It's just that he had 9 plates of macaroni and cheese in his stomach. And speaking of Myrtle Beach, I remember last year going down to Myrtle Beach and having that reflection for the first time that I was now the father on vacation for the first time. And it was overwhelming then. But, yeah, this will be a new one too. But Skip was that rock that I'd have to say that my father couldn't be. During pretty formative years in my life, in Anthony's life, he was very, very, very strong for Anthony, especially when he had a lot of anxiety issues, some of which kept him like inside. He was just afraid to go out. Skip was there. And, you know, in junior high school and high school especially, these are big years. And it's not my criticism of my father. This is not a criticism of my father. I love my father. He's brilliant, and we're closer now than we ever have been. But I believe that's just because we're treating with each other as adults. You know, when it comes to being a mentor for growing boys, Skip was best equipped for that, and he showed up right when we needed it the most. I guess that's the best way to say it. So let's get into some more questions and calls. Remember, you can call in about your own father figures, or you can tell me the best story that you can come up with. Oh, no, best joke, not a story. Let's keep this a short exchange. I want to hear a joke. Shotzi says, my condolences. So sorry to hear of Skip's passing. May he rest in peace. Thank you. Thank you, Shotzi. And I do want to say, it cannot be minimized what your prayers did. Can never be minimized. There were certain turnarounds, and there were certain reprieves, and there were certain, I don't know, just coming back up to the surface for air and moments of peace and weeks of clarity that were mixed into these saying goodbye moments and these horrible chapters of agony that I could only attribute to the influx of positive, glowing, loving energy coming in through these prayers. So I can't minimize it enough. I can't maximize it. I cannot minimize it. It was real. It was palpable. Thank you all. Dan Schumann says, so sorry for your loss, Frank. Prayers for you and your family. I hope you have a great vacation. Thank you. Rev Olution says, R.I.P. Skip. Frank, my heart goes out to you and the entire Valbiro family. Thank you. Stickman says, condolences on your loss. Sending love and prayers to the family. Leasebreaker, 2 hours ago says, now that we've mastered the drums, what's the next instrument you'd like to master? I'm going for the bass next. Oh, Leasebreaker. I have so many things I want to do on the drums. I know that you're being cheeky here, but if I were to have mastered the drums, and it's a part of my fall and winter goals. Fall and winter goals to do a few extra things, to learn a few extra techniques. If I mastered that, I probably would play the piano. There's something about the ability to be able to stand down, to sit down at an upright piano in the middle of a lounge or a smoky cantina bar or at somebody's house during a Christmas party or whatever the hell, and just not even be able to play a song, but to be able to just leisurely riff and to become background music and to be able to just be another part of the party. Oh, what I would do to be able to sit down at a keyboard and just riff. So that's what I would say if I had mastered the drums, which, you know, the piano is a percussion instrument. So I'd be going from one percussion instrument to the next. It actually makes sense. It makes sense. So here we go. Let's see. Laura from Scotland. Wow. Laura, do you know we have a Jerry from Scotland? Laura says, hi, Frank, long-time lurker here, but avid viewer and supporter. Just wanted to send my love and condolences to you and your family. I'm so sorry to hear about Skip. May he rest in peace. Thank you for all that you do. Enjoy the vacation. Laura from Scotland. Well, that's just wonderful. I appreciate you all. Let's take a call. John from Connecticut. How are you?
Hey, what do you say, kid? I got a joke for you.
Okay,
You
good.
ready?
Go, please.
What do we say? What does the northern girl say? He says, yes, you can. What does the southern girl say? She says, yes, y'all can. All right. Hey, happy day. Try and laugh and think of all the good things. Yeah, it sucks, but you'll get through it. I love you, man.
I love you too. Thank you so much. What does that mean? The southern girl says, I want more than one right now? Everybody in the room just line up? I don't care. That sounds hilarious. You know, I'm so happy that John from Connecticut was the first one to get through. All that energy just kind of came right through the phone and rubbed off on me. I feel fantastic right now. This one will do me well as well. Here is Jerry. What's going on?
I feel fantastic
Jerry.
right now. This one will do me well.
I can't do that right now, Jerry. If you listen back to what just happened, try to figure out what was going on with the feeding back, and then call in again, and we'll try that. Can't wait for Jerry to call back. 561, you're on the air. How are you? So I want to hear a joke. I want to hear a remembrance from your own life or something else. Go ahead.
Frank, my deepest condolences, buddy. You know, when I talk to you, I feel like I'm talking to one of my best friends that I just ain't met yet.
I appreciate that.
And you have, yeah. Well, I guess it's not really a joke. It's kind of a stupid comment.
That's fine.
Let's see. Okay, so one time George Orwell was constipated for 9 months, and when he finally dropped a deuce, Hillary Clinton popped out.
Constipated. Oh, great. Well, hey, listen, I would actually take that. There's a lot of rumors about when her birth or the circumstances around her birth actually was. That might be it, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, seriously, keep your chin up, buddy. I just recently lost my ex-wife, and she was only 50, and it was too damn short. And she was the mother of my kid. This was back in January. I meant to call you before, but I didn't think you'd want to hear it. Sob story like that.
No, it's not a sob story, man. It's very real, and I'm glad you shared now.
Yeah, well, she put off going to the hospital because she was just as based as us. She kind of saw the writing on the wall, and she put off going to the hospital from pneumonia because of all the medical malpractice that's been going on the last 2 years. And the doctor said that she was just a day late. I was estranged from her. She was way out in Colorado. I'm in the Carolinas, but it's just too damn short. So I feel your pain, brother. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I appreciate you sharing with me, and I hope that you and your family have found peace all these months later, and that you preserve her memory the best you can.
Thank you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Take care. Oh, yeah, medical malpractice. I'm not talking about that tonight. But I will. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be sorted out. People need to be rightfully memorialized, and then we will take a look at the who, what, where, why, when. That is for sure. 417, you're on the air. Who's this? Oh, no. Hello.
Frank.
Hey.
Hello, Frank.
Yes.
Hey, Mike from Rockland County. We talked about red apples a while back.
Yes. Mike from Rockland County with the red apples. That was I love that. It makes me want to go back to that time when we were the biggest topic on the show that was recurring at the time was all this apple talk. Well, go right ahead, Mike.
I had a father figure in my life. My dad died when I was 7. And my mom had to go to work full time, so my uncle would take me in the summers. And they would take us up to Speculator up on Lake Pleasant. And he taught me to water ski because he thought water skiing was going to be part of the Summer Olympics. So I trained with him for 8 summers. He was a professional trainer. He ran a country club in New Jersey somewhere, Blue Hill, I think it was called. Anyway, great guy. He was a custom home builder by trade, and I learned all about construction just picking up nails around the job site with his guys. But he was a great influence on my life, you know, and it never would have happened if my dad hadn't passed.
And your uncle has since passed on?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Back in the 90s.
So during what years were you training with the water skiing?
It would have been from 58 to 62, something like that.
Well, you said eight summers, right?
Well, 64 then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started
Well,
in
at
58.
least.
My dad died
66.
in 57, so.
Wow.
I was 8. Yeah.
Well, I love these remembrances, Mike, and I thank you for that. And what was your uncle's name?
Ted Zell, believe it or not.
Ked Zell?
Ted Zell, Z-E-L-L.
Wow, just like the Zell brothers.
I wonder
too. We got to see. I'll see now. I'll get a message from either Frank or Jim. I will see if they had a great uncle Ked somewhere in the family tree, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, he was a pretty great guy. There was a story when he ran the country club that we could never go down there as kids. We go down and visit once in a while. My mom was he married my mom's sister, my aunt. And we used to go down and visit him at the country club sometimes, and we couldn't go on Thursdays because the Giants were training there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But it turns out, I think he said they were ballet dancing, but nobody was supposed to know that.
The Giants ballet dancing? Oh, well,
nobody's supposed to know that.
Hey, listen, if ballet was good for Jean-Claude Van Damme, then I guess it was good for the football Giants. Hey, thanks for the call, Mike. It's great to hear from you.
Okay, I tried to send you a super chat on your link on YouTube.
Yeah.
It did not go.
You know, I have re-entered that link. I don't know why YouTube is deadening the links, but just the easiest thing to do is just open up a new tab on the browser, put quite frankly superchat.com, and it'll bring you right there.
You got it.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Frank. Good talking to you.
All right, good talking to you as well. All right, so that was Mike from Rockland County. Mike from Rockland County. I like that. Father figure. The uncle. What's going on, Jerry?
Mike from Rockland County.
Take two, Frank. Can you hear me?
Yes, but I hear me, which is the problem.
Uncle.
I've just switched it off. That's what I made an arse of it the last time because I switched off the wrong device.
Okay. Well, that sounds better now.
Skype and Wednesday.
It sounds better now, so go right ahead.
So my condolences. Yeah. My condolences, obviously. I'm feeling it because, the show must go on, you said at the start of the night. And I was in exactly that situation when my father died, because my father died on New Year's Day. And I had a gig at 4:30 in Glasgow Victoria Infirmary. The whole family was sitting around the beds, just waiting for the last moments. He'd collapsed on what we call Hug My Day. You call it New Year's Eve. And that's the biggest night of the Scottish social thing. And I had a gig at Hampden Park, which is the National Stadium, along with my brother. But my dad collapsed at 5:30 in the evening and off to the hospital. And we knew what it was, and we knew that it was going to be terminal. So because it was the Christmas period, the entire family was there, which was good. But come 4:30 and they pronounced him dead, and there's that sort of thing. But I had a gig on New Year's night, and I had to drive 100 and odd miles to Aviemore to do this gig, which I thought, I can't let these people down. It was okay cancelling the Hug My Day gig because we got somebody to do it for it. But I had a drummer and I had all that sort of thing. And you think the show must go on. So the bizarre thing about it was that went to the gig and my drummer said, "Hey, Happy New Year. How's it been, you?" I said, "Well, I've had better ones. I've had better New Year. My dad just died, and of course it was that." So we did the gig, but I know that thing, like the show must go on, and I remember on that particular night, I thought, I'm going to sing Stardust, the whole Michael song, because that was my dad's favourite.
What was your father's? You broke up right there. I want to know what your father's favorite song was.
Stardust, Hoagie Carmichael.
Okay.
And as we were doing this gig, and it's time for this dance, that dance, it's, Scottish dances and rock and roll dances, and you mix it all up. But I just sort of thought, I'm going to sing Stardust. And it's these little things as a performer sometimes, because I play a lot of like hotel lounges, and for the first hour or so I just play cocktail piano, and I always play all the sorts of tunes that my dad liked. I don't only do them, but I play these tunes that my dad liked, and I imagine them sitting just out of sight enjoying it. And it's things like that later on you incorporate your dad or your father figure or whatever into your own life. You end up wearing their shirts and jackets and things like that just to, I don't know, there's something about that. You carry on, so. But I'll never forget the last thing my dad said to me as he lay in his deathbed. He said, "Son, biggest mistake I ever made was buying this deathbed." I don't know what I was thinking about.
So
I was just asking for trouble. I was asking for trouble.
A sense of humor. That's amazing. I love a sense of humor to the end. That's amazing.
God bless you. It's the show must go on. It's not easy, but there we go. The show does go on, and there'll be who knows how many people around the world are now going to be adding Skip to their prayers, and that's a great thought. It goes onto my prayer list, which is getting sadly longer and longer. But I pray for people every day. Must be a Catholic thing, but I don't know. Yeah. So I now have another name to add to the list, and we'll all meet again.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And Jerry, I'm happy that you got through tonight, and you contributed nicely, and thank you again.
Yep. God bless. God rest, Skip.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you. God bless you. I got to say, I told you guys it happened last Thursday at our gig. 2 minutes before I went live, a couple hours before the show, the performance, I got a call from a doctor that said, we got to drain him. We got to drain his lungs. He's very sick. And it turned out that they took 1.5 liters of fluid out of him. But he wasn't allowing them to do it. So the doctor's like, do you want us to be a little bit more aggressive? I said, what does aggressive mean? He goes, oh, well, we're gonna have to sedate him. We were just going to do a local anesthetic, but it can't happen because he's not letting it happen. I said, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do, because that's it. I mean, if we got a shot at this, then just do it. He said, you got it. Next time I get a call, it was 2 minutes before. 2 minutes before I'm sitting in my drum throne. I'm putting in my inner ear monitors. I'm getting ready, just loosening up the shoulders. Derek is about a minute away from starting the first backing track that we're going into and just going to blast away for an hour. And I look down and I see the hospital's calling me. So popped an ear monitor out, said hello, and it was the doctor. Said, Frank, your father here is pretty sick, and I have to do an emergency, whatever the hell else. And I said, and he's going into what they usually do. They tell you about the consent that they need, the risks. They tell you everything. And I've been through this call so many times at this point. I said, doctor, and I told you this on air on Friday night because something remarkable happened, a synchronicity afterwards that I'll just reiterate now. I said, doctor, I'm about to go live. I'm about to take the stage right now and perform. I'm giving you all of the permissions you need, and Godspeed, and perform well yourself, and thank you for everything that you're doing for him. And he said, oh, so you can tell that they're moving it along. So it's just a blanket consent and good luck and God bless. And then we went right into playing. And he told me, he said, one of the risks is he may die. He's very sick right now. And at that point, how many times have I heard that over the last 4 or 5 months? So all I did was, in that moment, I popped my earplug back in, I picked up my sticks, and for the next hour, I played as if I was saying goodbye. That was it. I mean, that's just, if that was a day or two before and I had already been home from the show, I might have picked up my rosary and said a decade. But I didn't. At that point, all I had was the drums. And that's just the way it is, at least for us performers. For musicians, I know you're out. Jerry knows, and many of you out there know. That's just what it is. And it doesn't matter how big or small the stage is. It's part of you. So, I have a question over here from Slimy Tim. Some of these names pick me up. Slimy Tim says, how did Skip get his name? Well, there's a couple of different stories, but the one he told us, I think I remember, is that he had, when he was really, really young, like maybe like middle school or younger, there was this little girl that he would hang in the neighborhood that he would hang out with and play with and all that. And I think that they drew hopscotch. They drew the hopscotch with the chalk on the ground, and Skip played hopscotch with her, and she started calling him Skip because of that, because he's skipping along on the hopscotch thing. And he went and when she went to go knock on his door to see if he can go play the next time, she asked his parents if Skip can come out to play. They're like, who's Skip? And that's what he said. I don't know what the legends are. His real name was Reddick. And during his DJing days, because he was a DJ back in the day when he was spinning records, he said his DJ name was DJ Ready Red. Yeah. Oh, but did he fall in love with his granddaughter? There's Skip and my mom and Aurora last Thanksgiving. Oh, did he fall in love with Aurora? And here's a little bit before that, maybe I don't know how many, 6 months before that. He's got his Mets hat on top of Aurora, and he looks like he's deviously trying to bring her over to the dark side. But I don't care. I got to tell you right now, nothing would make me happier than if the Mets won the World Series. The Cowboys, forget it. I told him that Skip, that's never happening. Never happening again. We soaked it up when it was there. That was all. When we watched Cowboy games together, and he would hate me because in the first quarter I'd say, "Oh, they're done." He said, "Frank, it's the first quarter." I said, "What do you want me to say? Are you not fans of the same team? Do you not know when they have loser written all over them? They're done. Why are you even watching it? We'll still watch the next three. We'll still watch the next three quarters." But it's going to end up the same way, we know. They're trash. Can't just choose to like another team. That's just what we live with. But the Mets, nothing would make me happier if the Mets won the World Series. I would also be a mess, too. Walking a tightrope tonight, man. I'll tell you what. So that's what we got. Okay, let's go over to the Super Chats again and see what people are going on. We'll take some more calls in a little bit. I see two people are in the joke line on Discord. Do not leave and stay by your computer, because when I bring you into the on air and I start calling your name out, don't be in the bathroom playing with yourself. I want to hear these jokes. Minnesota Cat says, I lost my father, Mike, in Superior, Wisconsin, 1991. I was 10. In a private airplane crash. He was the pilot. I grew up enjoying nature at the beach, skiing, biking, beer fests, and blues fests. He taught me good music and good times. He was my heart. The Butcher says, thanks for the great show tonight. Nothing else needs to be said. What else we have? Stickman says, I went to the doctor last week for my annual physical. The doctor told me that I had to stop. Okay. Thank God. I saw the next part there, and it has to be a joke. I went to the doctor last week because I couldn't take any bad news right now. The doctor told me I had to stop masturbating. Why? I asked. He replied, because I'm trying to give you an example. I'm going to have to do this over again. It's good. And it hit me so perfectly. I went to the doctor last week for my annual physical. The doctor told me I had to stop masturbating. Why? I asked. He replied, because I'm trying to give you an examination. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. That I need now that was great. Oh, I just felt like I felt like if there is like a spirit knuckle to be cracked, my spirit knuckle just cracked. Whew. Just can't stop. Oh, man. Beth says, Frank, so sorry about Skip. Losing someone you love is so difficult. I lost my sister in January to the death jabs. I couldn't visit her until the last day because of the rules. She and I had worked together side by side for 25 years until she retired. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that, Beth, and prayers for your sister. Man, there's just so much, and this is why don't run away when we take a night off from politics, ladies and gentlemen. Never do that. We need this. What do we have over here? Jessica. Just Frank, are there any sayings that Skip would say that you will always remember? Oh boy, we got a lot of the black sayings. I'm gonna remember these as the days go on, but things that I can pull off the top of my head. Hold on. Let me ask Anthony too. Wait a second. Let me call Anthony for a second. Wait a second. What's Anthony doing? I think he's just in the next room. Maybe he calls me back. Who knows? All right. Well, what do we get? All of his jokey sayings. What were some of the things he'd say? Well, I mean, that was the first place we heard "black don't crack." Darker the berry, sweeter the juice, which is particularly disturbing. That's you know. Little thing, he got so many, the pronunciation of so many things wrong. That was always fun. He would call hookah hookie. What are you smoking, your hookie? I don't know. Whenever my mother did a good job cooking something, either for the holidays or for Sunday dinner or whatever, he would say, "Wow, babe, you really put your foot in this." Now I took it a little bit too literal. I know it's an American black Southern saying, like, you know, you kicked its ass, or you really did this up well. But it's just I have too much of a literal picture of somebody just smashing their foot into my macaroni and cheese, and that does not make it delectable to me. So he would say things like that. I'd be, Skip, come on. He goes, what? I said, I don't want to think about mom's feet in the stuffed broccoli. So there's things like that would always pop up for me. Anthony would probably remember some things too. I just don't know. Hold on. My cousin Sherry just texted me. Says, hey, Frank, what do you call a female peacock? I don't know, Sherry. What? A pecunt. There you go. There you go. I like that one. I like that one too. So the jokes are rolling in. The jokes are rolling in. What else do we have to say? I'll take another. Oh, no. We're going to the joke line. Here we are in Discord with Cave Toad. Cave Toad, give me your joke, my friend. You there? Cave Toad going once. Oh, there you are. Cave Toad? I see you unmuted. Where are you? This is unfortunate. Goodbye, Cave Toad. Prodigal Rev, what's going on? 3? Oh, man. Well, Discord was a good idea. We've had some success with it over the last couple of years, have we not? I think it's been a wonderful tool for giving people a place to go and hang out and share news and, a little bit more of a fast-paced forum kind of a thing, not so much of a forum. But, boy, have we had some rough goings with all the lines, the call-in lines. A call from Megan. What's going on, Megan?
Hey, Frank. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you have for me? You have a story about somebody that was a mentor for you? Do you have a story? Do you have a question about my life growing up with Skip, or do you have a joke for me?
Well, first I want to say I'm very sorry about Skip.
Thank you.
And I said a prayer for you and your family. I just wanted to share that we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of my father-in-law passing away. And he was very into like UFOs and the afterlife and ghosts and spirits and all that. And we had a lot of time to say goodbye to him. So I told him, I said, hey, when you cross over, come back and, let us know that you're okay. So he passed, and it was, I believe, a Thursday night. So we were down with his mom and his brother. And I just had this feeling. I'm like, we have to go to this. It's called Spoon River Drive here. And you go, and it's like all these different, like, garage sales all over in these little towns. And he always wanted to go to this place called Bernadette, and he would look for UFOs there or whatever he could see in the sky. And I said to my husband, I think we need to end the trip there. I think your dad would want us to do this. So we did Spoon River Drive. We ended it Saturday night in Bernadette, and it was cloudy, so we couldn't look at the sky. So we were more looking at the trees and our surroundings. And I look over to my right, and I'm like, is there this flashing light? And we start looking, and out of nowhere, there's this, like, little blue ball of light that just starts, like, floating and flashing on and off, like, through the trees and up high. So we knew it wasn't, like, somebody on the ground, like, messing with us. And we watched it until we couldn't even see it anymore. And I really, truly believe that that was him coming back to let us know that he was okay.
Those are always heart-stopping situations. Those are always heart-stopping moments. My family always looks out for things like that. They look out for butterflies and jackrabbits that show up and run past them in cemeteries. Everybody is somebody coming back. Everything is somebody working through this very thin physical veil. This thin, I don't know, frequency of light that we all live through, just almost use as a, I don't know, just these little ways to say hi or something. We get a lot of those stories and legends in my family. I know how breathtaking they can be when it happens.
Yeah, so I'm sure you'll be hearing from Skip soon.
It'll be an interesting one, and I thank you, and I send my condolences to your family on this upcoming anniversary, and I'm glad that your father-in-law has found peace as well. Thank you for the call, Megan.
Thanks, Frank.
All right, take care. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we didn't get to do. Me and Skip, all of us. Skip wanted to. We never got to go to Dallas to go to Cowboy Stadium. For Skip's 60th birthday, which would have been next year, he always wanted to go to Hawaii. That's what he wanted to do for his 60th. He wanted to treat himself to Hawaii. So maybe one day I'd go to Hawaii because I never wanted to go. Maybe do that. And somebody asked me if there's any sayings or things that Skip used to say that will remember. I don't know if you remembered any. I went to the ones that he always run to. Black don't crack. Sweeter the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Shit like that. Is anything you're remembering that you don't have to dig too far for?
No. I mean, sayings.
I don't know. It was hard for me to dig it up too. Those are just the obvious ones. Things like what he would call hookah, hookie. I said he got a lot of things wrong, just pronunciation wise.
Right.
But I don't know. Just putting it out there. That's why I called.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know if you can draw on anything from there. Just talking about father figures and memories and working through stuff. That's really all. So, know you're going through the same thing. Everybody's sending a lot of prayers our way. So, I thought you'd be happy to hear about that.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody who's given their support.
That's where we're at. Well, if you think of anything, let me know, because we'll have to, especially once we start digitizing all of our videos and all that stuff. If we start getting all of our vacation videos in order, and he's obviously in all those things, we'll find better ways to memorialize.
Well, I have all of that. That's already digitized.
Oh, okay. Like all of our Florida video. Oh, then we got to go through that, and we got to find some really good stuff. All right, so we'll save that for like a Saturday night or a Friday night show.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's Anthony, everybody.
Good to see everybody.
Good to see everybody. All right, well, that's... Well, I'm going to try one more time with Prodigal. Hey, Prodigal, on the joke line. Do you hear me? 3, 2, 1. Well, it was a good idea to have a joke line up. 7:56. I'm not going to go much longer. I think we did it all right for an hour. Maybe I'll go into some Babylon Bee headlines to get a joke. 224. Who is this? Hello.
Hey, is this Frank?
Yes, it is.
Hi, this is Ima.
Who?
Sometimes referred to as Logan.
I'm sorry. Are you on speaker? Are you on speakerphone?
I am on speaker.
Okay.
Should I turn that off?
Oh yes, please do.
Okay, I'm off. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe I've gotten a hold of you. I've been following you since the pandemic started.
Oh wow! So we're a couple of years in.
You've been a rock for me, really. I mean, in a time when things seem very lonely and isolated. Anyway, I wanted to say that I was very sorry to hear about Skip, and I lost my father about 40-something years ago.
Wow.
So in a very sudden car wreck. Oh. So I know that death can kind of come suddenly, and we're never quite prepared for it. And I know right now you're being brave through it all, and it's a process. Death is the process, the grieving process that we go through, and I think you're handling it very well.
Well,
and,
let me now that I have you off a speakerphone, what's your name again?
This is Ima.
Ima.
Or Rollerbone, sometimes referred to.
Okay, Ima. Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. How old were you when your father died?
I was 2.
Oh.
My mom was pregnant with my brother. Yeah, she was in her 20s, in her early 20s. It was a sudden... So you're very blessed. I don't know how blessed you are to have spent so much time with Skip.
That is something that I'm able to really grasp onto, and I didn't know. So let me ask you this, since it's it's another theme of the show here tonight. In your father's absence, who stepped up to be that father figure for you afterwards?
For sure, my uncles.
Mm.
My father had his brothers were. They were always there, and kind of each had different types of, like 2 of them were really wild, and one of them was really practical.
You need that. Yeah, that's good.
You've got that variety.
Yeah.
What about you? What for Skip? What did Skip provide what did Skip provide you? I mean, what sort of things did you pick? Like, was it wisdom or?
What
would you say?
I think it was a little bit more. Well, what you said there. There's definitely spontaneity there. He was very fun. I got a lot more. Skip was always a guy. Skip was always a guy who had connections, and it's not that he was connected through organized crime. It's just that he made friends everywhere, and I was already a pretty social kid. All of my school records indicate that I liked talking with people and making friends and being a goofball more than I liked studying, and that's just something that I think that when we met Skip, and he was always, Skip's got connections. We'd say, Skip, do you have a guy that can get us this? Do you have a guy that can get us this? And lo and behold, he usually did. So I started really trying to hone that ability to turn people into friends and to make a network of people who help each other out, and there's always something to build on that. So it was a little bit more of a business thing, though. There's a lot of that. Everybody has their faults, but he gave us a lot of strong social lessons, and we had a lot of fun. And of course, like I said before, growing boys in those formative years, junior high, high school, even trickling into college, you need strong men around. You need to be able to talk about girls. You need to be able to work problems out. That you can talk to your mother about things, but sometimes it's better not to. To learn what a boys' night out is all about. That was really it, and boys need that, and we had that. Hold on, Anthony's here again. What's going on, Ant?
It's funny you say that, because he did give me advice about girls, and I just think it was a little bit too young. I think it was a little bit too young, because
What'd he say?
There's a girl I liked in 5th grade. She's like, "Oh, ask her to eat lunch with her." Could you? Which I didn't do. Could you imagine? We went to we went to Corpus Christi school, elementary school. Like going to the girls' table hey, I wanted to eat lunch with you. That would never even work.
I know, it wouldn't work.
You know what I mean? Like, so he was definitely coming from a different time.
Yeah.
But obviously it was appreciated. Even though I've talking to actually approaching girls in person was never my strong suit. Even after that. But Mom sent a text saying, "Tell Frankie this one. Skip hated chocolate, and anytime anybody offered him some, he would say, I don't eat anything darker than me."
Yes, I don't eat anything darker than me.
But that's kind of that. He would eat chocolate. Everyone,
I see. He started getting a lot looser as he got older.
Right.
Like,
that was something that he wouldn't do, but then over time he would.
Yeah, that over time he would do that, because, like I said, he would not do chocolate earlier on. He wouldn't drink beer earlier on, and every once in a while he would have a beer later on. And that's just things that he's just new habits. Ima, thank you so much for the call and for asking the question, and all the best to you and your family.
Absolutely. May his memory be eternal. And as you guys do go through that healing process, I hope that you'll know that you can find comfort in prayer. So,
okay.
God
Wonderful.
bless you guys, okay?
Thank you.
Anthony and Frank.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And have a good one out there. Yeah, that's right. I don't eat anything darker than me. Oh, jeez. It's just all very incredible and very surreal. All right, so let me see. I'm going to be doing one thing. I'm going to take another maybe 2 calls, and then we're off for the night. I just got an email. Let me see. Got an email from Abe. Says we're going to be playing classic episode movies, funny clips, and all sorts of entertaining, frankly, nostalgia for the entirety of Frank's vacation. Be sure to tune in over the next several days to chat and hang out only at quitefrankly.tv. That's right. So over the course of this vacation, quitefrankly.tv is going to be chock full of stuff. And I'm bringing my laptop with me. So there will be nights that I download things from the place I'm staying at and throw together a playlist. Maybe it's a long documentary, whatever. But there's always going to be something going on the site. And if you're tuned into the Twitter and onto the Telegram and elsewhere, you're gonna know just what we have lined up. So I hope that you take a look at that. As for tonight, it's 8:05, and I'm ready to pop off and just go and do a little bit more packing and relax for the evening. Is there anything else? Let me go check the super chats and maybe one or two Babylon Bee headlines to substitute for jokes. Chef Jay Kinney says, "Hi Frank, rest in peace, Skip. I lost my dad in 2001. I just turned 11. Afterwards, I looked up to my Uncle Frank as a father figure. Enjoy your vacation, and I will keep you in my prayers. Thank you, and God bless your Uncle Frank." Uper Viking says, "The strength you are showing tonight. I know Skip is smiling down from heaven. Proud of the man you have become. What a beautiful tribute. Thank you for sharing him with us. God bless you and yours, Frank." Thank you, Uper. And I promise we're gonna memorialize him better. I just threw some stuff together, and when we get into those vacation videos, we're gonna have a good time. I'll have Mike here, Anthony here. We'll have a good time. I promise you that. Thank you all so much. Larkstar says, "Skip sure sounds like he enjoyed making others happy. Frank and today's world. Frank and the today's wordle answer. What's wordle? And today's wordle answer is clown. Coincidence? I don't know, but be on the lookout during your well-deserved vacation. My prayers to your family and so much love. I will be on the lookout for all types of clowns." Thank you for your support, Lark. You're very generous. Everybody's very generous. And yes, Minnesota Cat. "My condolences, Frank. I want to take a moment in quite gratitude that God sent you a father figure when you and Anthony needed one. That's beautiful to hear. I rejoice with you as you remember all the richness he brought to your life." And then Dooku Dan says, "It's poetic Skip appears in your life when you needed a father's wisdom and guidance, and now you are a father, and you gave Skip your wisdom and guidance. Skip's mission went full circle. Skip helped you to get to a good place in your life by example, with much love." Thank you for that, Dan. That's a wonderful way of looking at it. It makes me feel good and, honored. Mama Time Lord says, "Keep remembering him well, his love for you and yours for him." And there you have. That's what we have for tonight. I want to thank you all for the time. I want to thank you for the wonderful company. There's a little bit more on Rumble here. Selling the Farm says, "Thanks for doing the show tonight. It's a celebration. Suffering is over, and he is with the Lord. We knew him through you. Godspeed, Skip." Thank you, Selling the Farm. Mr. Manatee says, "Norm MacDonald voice. I got a joke for you. I forgot how it goes, but it turns out your mother is a whore." Yes. That's a good one. Florida Sunsprite, "Much love to you and your family. What a very funny what's a very funny memory of your mom and Skip?" Well, my mom and Skip. Oh, geez. Oh, there's a lot of funny memories, but one that is just for me and the boys. For example, I showed you that picture of us at Disney World. We went to Disney World, Epcot Center, multiple years in a row. We loved Universal Studios better than that. Myrtle Beach, but whenever we would go to a theme park, me, Anthony, if it's just me and Anthony, or me, Anthony, our friend Steve, Mike, Matt, Chris, any of the friends that we would take with us, no doubt about it, we were going to lose my mother and Skip. They just drifted into situation, and every time we would turn around, we realized, where the fuck are they now? There was one year we were so pissed off, and nobody has cell phones, so there's no way to say, "Hey, where are you? We're standing by, Mickey Mouse's ass. Come to the Mickey Mouse Christmas store. We're by the fountain," or whatever. You can't do that back then. So every time me and Anthony and whatever friends we had along with us there turn around and realize we have to find them again, we would just get pissed. But, when we get mad, funny things happen. So, there's this one time we lost them again in Disney World. And and we speculated. And I said to myself, I wonder what they're saying to each other right now as they realize that they've done it again. And as I forget which one of us imitated Skip, because when he would get flustered, his voice would go high, and someone said, "Why are we so stupid?" And we're like, "Yep, that's exactly what they're saying." So we envisioned them walking around in Disney World alone, estranged from us, asking themselves, "Why are we so stupid? I don't understand. How did we get so stupid that we keep losing these kids?" We were so frustrated sometimes. How are they lost again? So those were some of the fun things. Oh, another thing. To this day, leaving Florida for one of our vacations, we rented a van. The Florida vacation is now over. We are in the van. We are going back to the Orlando International Airport. We're going back home. On the way back home, the locking system on the doors, you hit the power locks and goes chijin, chijin, whatever. Well, the locking system on the doors, they kept getting triggered. The doors were already locked, but it was as if somebody was kept on pressing the button to lock an already locked door. So it just sounded like a weaker ignition inside of the door where it just like it was trying to lock, but it's already locked. You know how you do that with power locks? Skip was convinced it was me. I swear. And now listen, when I start denying something and all the pressure comes down on me, I will start to crack. I'll start to smile, and it'll become funny to me. It doesn't mean I'm guilty though. And I swear there is no reason to deny it at this point. I was not screwing with the power locks in this rented car. I swear. So he said, he was getting to the point he was getting mad. He said, "Frank, if you touch the locks again, I am pulling over." And we are in the middle of Florida, on the Florida highways. You pull over, there's tall grass everywhere. There's just flowing water. There's probably alligators everywhere. And I'm gonna throw you out of the car if you don't stop. Skip, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. I don't know if it was Anthony. Maybe it was Anthony all this time. Saw that I was in a position where nobody believed me. And the locks got triggered again. And he pulled over on the side of the highway. I had to get out of the car. And for a couple of minutes, we're just standing there in like a standoff. Eventually, I got back in the car and we went to the airport. But to this day, from every year forward, he never believed me. I promise it was not me screwing with those locks. It was funny. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't me. So, I mean, there's a lot of things like that. On that same trip, Anthony pissed off Skip because one of the souvenir cups that we got from one Universal Studio place or another, like a King Kong cup or something. One of the big thick the big thick accordion straws that used to come with the souvenir cups? Everything was durable back then. You got a souvenir cup from Universal Studios or Six Flags or Disney back in 1992. Some of the artwork may have faded, but it is. You can probably, it's a sturdy thing. Anyway, Anthony was playing with the straw, and he started blowing through it, and he realized that the straw had formed a natural whistle. It was whistling. So he kept whistling the same tune, monotone tune, through this little plastic souvenir straw. And I remember the tune, too. He went like this. It went something like this. Almost sounded like a mourning dove. It was like... And it started getting to Skip's nerves because he just wouldn't stop. He said, "Anthony, stop it." So we're all now we're all like, we're in the back seats. It's me, Anthony, whatever friends we had on for vacation, and we know that, hey, listen, all you got to do is just do it one more time, and it's just going to be so much more funnier than before. And Anthony would do it because he had no self-control with the ADHD. He would just do it. Shit like that, you know. We went on the rides plenty of times. We have plenty of pictures of us on the Jurassic Park ride, one thing or another. But I mean, those are the memories that stick with you. It's the blowing through souvenir straws in your rented minivan in the middle of Florida when all you have is each other. All right, well, that's all for tonight. That's all I can really handle. For some reason, there's no gold pills that came through Foxhole, so I'm sorry. People sent them in. I can't see them right now. I'll try to make up for them. No Babylon B. Here's how I'm ending tonight. No intermission, no credits. Just the Ave Maria. I don't know. I don't think that this meant much to Skip. He wasn't Catholic, but it means something to me, and I will be finding better ways to memorialize him in the future. I just thank you all tonight for giving me some space to do this. And I will be back before you know it. And we'll be back to our old ways and keeping on with each other. So thank you for sharing yourself with me. Thank you for taking on a little bit of my stuff. And I will see you before you know it. Send a prayer for safe travels and all that stuff. I'd appreciate it. It's going to be a good time. I can't even I can't wait for the 10-hour drive, to be honest. I can't wait to just drive and have Aurora and Lauren in the car. So thank you all for everything, and I'll catch you on the what have I done? Okay, that's it. I'll catch you on the flip side. Nighty night.